Good morning. It's often said at home, my home concerts, I've never met a microphone that I don't like. So, hello, microphone. This week has been incredible. I can't tell you how incredibly proud I am of these kids on stage. It's not even the third number yet. I'm already going to do this. But I would end rehearsals with the question, do you want to take the folders today? Yes. Well, how many of you will actually practice if I let you take the folders today? And 2/3 of the hands of the band would go up, and then the other ones would go, okay. And they'd go up too. And then the next morning, I would be in the repair room, which is my little cave that Todd Johnson and I kind of share for the week. And in the morning at 8 a.m., I'd hear sounds coming from the practice rooms down the hall. And I have never experienced that before. And it was not the same like band does it, well, they don't do it at home. But these kids did. And it will really show in their performance today because it's a very, very difficult program they're going to perform for you today. I'd like to take a moment before we do our next tune and talk to you just a little bit. And I'm trying to save their chops too as I talk to you just a little bit today. And what I'd like to talk to you today is the importance of your student staying in band and why band and music education, choir, and others is so important in your school. This is the only class in school they will take that demands that every time they perform, that they perform with 100% accuracy. The only thing in school where 100% is the only acceptable outcome. Let's take an example. Let's go extracurricular. Let's look at sports. And don't get me wrong, I love sports. I mean, St. Louis Cardinals and I go way back, okay? I grew up with my dad listening to them on the porch. I love football, baseball, basketball. Don't take this the wrong way. But let's look at it. Sports inherently has built-in failures. Let's take a look at baseball. Pretty good baseball average. In fact, an incredible baseball average will be batting 400. That means 4 out of every 10 times they go to bat, they hit the ball. Can you imagine if this band performed at 40%? Would that not be different? What about football? Let's look at football. Football inherently has failures built in, incomplete pass. If you don't get it right on first down, you have second down and third down. Before fourth down, you get to punt. We don't get to punt. That's kind of a drawback also. Well, let's turn the tables. Let's go to academics just a little bit. Let's look at English or math or science or social studies. Let's just take an example of a test. And let's say they have a 16-question test. Your students can miss 1, maybe even 2, and still make an A. Absolutely make an A in that course. So what I would like to show to you, so that would be at about, if they miss 1 question on a 16-question test, that's about a 92, 93 grade average in class. So what I would like to do for you today is show you what would happen if your band director allowed your band to make a 93 on the test. That's a great grade. This is a great grade. So we're going to play for you 16 measures from the next piece we're about to perform, the Valdez March. And each student is allowed to miss 1 of the 16 measures. In school, you have it. And I hope that you understand that your band directors, and I've talked to the kids about that, when they get onto them, or they tell them they're playing wrong notes, or they're wanting to do this more, and they feel that pressure from the band director, it has nothing to do with the fact that the band director doesn't like you. I told them it's quite the opposite. In fact, we've learned this week, when I say do it again, or one more time, it really means I love you and I know you can do it better. And so when your band directors, when you go to the marching band field this fall, and they're on the megaphone and they're screaming, do it again, or one more time, just interpret that the right way, because that's exactly what they're telling you. We're going to perform Valdez for you by Johannes Hansen, a great Norwegian march, and we are going. This is arranged by Robert W. Smith. do our last number that we're going to do for you today, I have a few orders of business to do. The number one thing that I need to do is to thank Dr. Ricky Brooks, Robin Nix, and the Dixie Band Camp Board of Directors for trusting me to do this. And I've already told the kids I wasn't the first choice. The first choice for this band, the gentleman that's supposed to conduct this band, has been dealing with a few health issues and didn't feel strong enough that he would be strong enough to do the band this past week. And so about 4 weeks ago, I got a call, and I actually conducted the second band last year, and I had some misgivings and some issues about having a few of the same kids. I think there's about 6 or 8 that I had last year in doing this, but he taught me into it. So Dr. Brooks, I personally want to thank you for talking me into it, and because it's been an incredible experience. I told the kids probably the best clinic experience I've ever had working with this band and this community. I also need to thank some sectional teachers who worked incredibly hard this week. And without them, this last piece of music absolutely would not have been possible this week. So I'd like to thank a few people. Sheila Brooks worked with our flute and oboes. Mark Smith worked with our clarinets. Dr. Jackie Lamar worked with the saxophones. Mr. Tim Cunningham worked with the trumpets and horns. Mr. Todd Johnson worked with our low brass. Mr. Dwayne Wilson worked with our percussion. Would you guys stand if you're here, and would you guys thank them? Their camp experience was better because of them. So watch this. How many of you guys on stage, and be honest, learned something new in sectionals this week? Wow. You guys are great teachers. And they do all the work that we can't do. We're trying to put the music together, and they're doing all the little things and teaching them all the little things. So that's so incredible. I'm so glad to see that. The last piece, I've got one other order of business I have to do, and I was going to forget, and I would be in trouble if I did this. Each year, the Dixie Band Camp Blue Band at Junior High Camp awards 2 Outstanding Musician Awards. And I forgot I had to do this until Thursday. And I asked Mr. Nix, Mr. Robin Nix, I asked him, I said, is there any way I can just give it to the whole band? And he laughed at me. And I know why after giving these. These 2 students will be awarded a full tuition scholarship to come back to Dixie next year. The 2 students that are receiving the Outstanding Musicianship Award for the Junior High Blue Band for this year are Miss Heather Patton from Gulf Breeze, Florida. And the second student is Miss Elise Holloway from Colorado. And I would really be in trouble if I didn't recognize my good friend. This scholarship is the John Barbarato Junior High Dixie Band Camp Scholarship. Mr. Barbarato is seated in the back of the auditorium. In the very back there, has been a part of this camp for 69 years. Our final piece that we're going to perform for you today on our program needs some explanation. It is called Fate of the Gods by Stephen Reineke, and it comes straight from Nordic mythology. So we're going to tell you about it before we play it a little bit so that you can better understand the piece. This programmatic work, it was inspired from Nordic mythology and tells the story of Ragnarok. It's also known as, the story is called the Twilight of the Gods. It talks about a war between the forces of good and evil. So what we want to do for you, is to show you some of these sections. The very beginning of the piece represents the beginning of the world, its creation, and you'll hear that in the eerie sounds that you will hear at the beginning as it is created. The problem with the initial creation of the world in this tale is that forces of both good and evil are created. So what we would like to perform for you first, and this is the evil themes, one of them that you will hear, which represent the god Loki. Hear that theme along with a couple of other ones that represent evil, and I'll show you what's important about that. The next thing that you'll hear is a much more soothing sound. It represents the god Balder, who is the son of Odin, and represents all that is good in the world. Then, evil returns over the good, and you will hear the horn call of Heimdall, the keeper, the gatekeeper, who actually calls all of the forces in the world to battle. So, the horn of Heimdall. Ethan, you ready? Exposed. Only two soloists will play that. Then, of course, all the forces come together. We have the battle. And it's very violent. After the forces of evil basically destroy each other, all that's left is one lone tree. The tree of Yggdrasil, and all that's created in the world after this are forces of good. And this piece ends with the most beautiful ending. This is Fate of the Gods by Stephen Riley.